Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about extended magazine releases on pistol. That's basically your magazine release there. That's the button you push to take out the magazine. On Glocks and P80s, it is very popular to get the extended ones, which I do not like. And this goes back some like 10, 12, 15 years when people were talking about this. And when people were testing this out back then, what they found is that when you have an extended magazine release on a pistol, when you put it in the holster, okay, what happens is a lot of times the holster will hit that magazine release. Now, even if it doesn't hit it when the gun goes into the holster, if you press it right, you can see how this holster moves a little bit when you press it in. So if you imagine a situation where you have the gun, you sit down, you have your gun at your waistband, you sit down, you put your seatbelt on in the car, the car seat kind of wraps around you a little bit, that's going to compress this a little bit more. So what people found is that, we're going back some 15 years or so, what they found is that if you had an extended magazine release, at some point you sat down, and what happened is the holster would press up against this, it would activate it, the magazine wouldn't fall out, it would just kind of sit in the gun like that, right? And then what happened is if you went to pull the gun out of the holster, it wouldn't just fall out in many cases, right? So what would happen is you would fire that first shot, and then the magazine would fall out. So that's why, like 15 years ago, people were saying, like, absolutely not, don't get the extended magazine releases. It's gonna pop your magazines out when you don't want it to do that. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because about 2 weeks ago, I made this P80 here, and I got actually it was this one over here. I made this P80, and the lower parts kit that came with it, it had an extended magazine release. So they send it out. I guess it's very popular with people, so I guess they're giving people what they want. And I got something like like 5 kits in. So I got a lot of these, because what I did is after I got the first one, I'm like, okay, let me check the other ones and see if I can swap this out. And I saw that they all had these extended magazine release buttons. And I don't like it for the reason I just said, that it's very easy for the holster to press up against it and knock out your magazine. So the solution was what I did is I compared it to an OEM magazine release, and what I did is I took a pick and I just scratched the line, where to the length that this should be, right? And then what I did is I took the gun apart, I took out the magazine release button, and then on a belt sander I basically grinded it down to that level. All right, and then what I did is, because at that point, of course, this was smooth, right? Then I smoothed it out a little bit more with a Dremel. And what I did is I wanted to put in these little lines over here, right? You see these little lines over here? Because if you look at the OEM ones, right? You see how they got these 5 little lines to kind of give you a little bit more of a grip. Now these are very fine lines, and I didn't have the ability to make them that fine. So instead of scratching in 5 lines, what I did is I scratched in 2 lines, right, which gave me 3 ridges, right? You can see how I got 3 ridges there. And the way I did that is I put this into a small vise, right? I put the magazine release button into a small vise. I took a razor, I kind of scratched 2 lines across. I went through it multiple times, because if you try to do it really hard, you're gonna mess it up. So you just gotta do it a lot of times really slow. After I scratched in my lines, then what I did is I took a thin hacksaw blade, and then I scratched. I cut it in the way I wanted it to cut it in, right? And now I'm pretty happy with this. It feels almost like this one. Now, this one does feel a little bit sharper, right? The factory one does feel a little bit sharper, because I kind of rounded this out a little bit. In hindsight, the next time I do this, I'm gonna not round it out. The truth is, I never realized how sharp the factory ones are, right? The OEM ones. I didn't realize how sharp they were. So I kind of smoothed this out a little bit too much. So even though it's the same length, it doesn't have the same feel to it. So the next time around, I'm just gonna leave the corners a little bit a little bit sharper, and I guess that kind of bites into your thumb a little bit, so you can get a better feel for it. But this works just fine. Really happy with this. So it's an easy fix. If you get like a bunch of these lower kits that have the extended ones, the extended magazine releases, and you don't like them for the same reason that I don't like them, that, you know, if you have a holster, it's very easy for the holster to activate it. You know, you can just get yourself a belt sander and just file, you know, grind it down. I mean, you don't have to use a belt sander, you can just use a regular file, but with the belt sander, it just goes a lot faster. Anyway, I hope this video is useful to you guys. If you guys got any comments, put in the comment section. If you're not a member, subscribe. I'll talk to you guys soon.